Welcome to the Brady and Gold Knuckleheads podcast. As always, through thick and thin, my main man Reggie right over there. What's going on, Reg?
What up, Ken?
Man, just trying to limp our way through the last part of the season here.
Well, hold on before we do this.
Yeah.
Let's wish everybody a happy new year. All right.
Happy New Year.
So,
absolutely.
Happy New Year. So if you're listening to us, whether it's on YouTube or you listen to us on your streaming service, that means you survived. And I know you might chuckle and go, well, of course we survived. A lot of people didn't survive New Year's.
That's right.
Right. There's some people who lost their lives, and I'm trying to be morbid here, but it's no guarantee that you're going to make it. So the fact that you're listening to us on this day, congratulations for making it to 2024. And I hope you had a awesome and wonderful new year. So happy new year to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope everybody personally, as well as our team, has a prosperous year coming up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
on to the business.
So, were you big balling it on New Year's, Reg? Were you? I mean, where did you fly? Were you in London? Were you in Rio? Where were you New Year's Eve?
Man, I was hoping 2024 would be different. But silly me for thinking 2024 would be different with all this foolishness.
Well, I mean, when Reggie plans a trip, you hear this. When Knucklehead Ken plans a trip, you hear this. It's just loose change. I'm looking through the couch cushions, trying to find money just to get a bottle, just a bottle to drown my sorrows away for the weekend.
This is what we're doing, huh? We're gonna start the new year off. I didn't know, but I'm with you now. I'm gonna roll with you.
It is it. We are there, my man.
and y'all, that's one of my favorite sounds. Give it to me again, Ken.
Yeah.
Even Kawhi think you're a funny guy, man. So.
Oh man, but if we kind of transition here to football, we got to find something to laugh about, right?
Got to laugh to keep from crying, man.
Because Washington is on I believe it's a 7-game slide currently. Most of us are rooting for an 8-game slide. We wanted to stop there, no more than 8. But stop at 8. Based on, and this is based coming off of the 49ers loss last weekend of 27-10. I thought it was going to be worse, Reg. I thought score wise, but I know we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the 49ers here, but I just did want to give a couple stats. I will say, let me back up real quick before I go to the stats. At halftime, it was 13-10.
Yeah, we were hanging in there at
halftime. Did you think there was any chance Washington was going to win that game?
Well, I'll tell you, my confidence number to win the game, as you recall, was 0.
Correct.
But when we were hanging in there at halftime, I made the comment. I said, we're going to F around and win this game. And I was concerned. I was like, the 49ers are letting us hang around just a little bit too much.
Right.
And I was going to obviously wait and see what happened in the third quarter. And then we come out in the second half and, we did what Washington do. And the 49ers made some adjustments and took off. And I never had to worry about changing my confidence number. But I was concerned at halftime, like, did Sam really, that the 2 benchings that he got, did it really change some things? And all of a sudden he's going to come out here and do an upset of the 49ers? Because we were sticking around close enough to where a play here and there, man, it might have been a different game, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just look at the score, yes, but how everything was being played, I didn't see it, right? 13-10, I was like, ooh. I was happy that we were making it interesting. Never did I think that we were going to possibly pull off an upset on here. At the end of the day, I mentioned the score of 27-10. The 49ers, when you look at their stat sheet, you almost look at it and go, well, how did we just lose 27-10? They rushed 39 times for 184 yards. Passing the ball 22 of 28. I don't have my calculator out there, but that's over 75%, probably 77%, 78% completion percentage, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, time of possession, almost 2-1, 38 minutes to 21 minutes, plus the seconds in there, but 38 minutes to 22 seconds of ball control in that game. And that's why, again, they came up short a couple times of scoring, but it looked like they were in control of the ball. They were moving the ball. They were doing things that they needed to do. And I was never really concerned about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say palms were sweaty or anything. It was just,
Right.
When you get a game that close like that, a play or two can make a difference. And, you get a team like Washington who obviously seems to have no hope. And then all of a sudden they're hanging in there and your confidence builds. So that's why they say you don't let teams hang around. I mean, you just never know, right? The old mantra, any given Sunday. And so the fact that we were kind of hanging around in there, here I'm wanting 49ers to win this game. And I'm like, look, this is close, but it's a little too close. and let's just say all of a sudden someone gets injured.
Right.
What happens if Christian McCaffrey gets injured in the second quarter? They play the second half, and all of a sudden now they're not as effective running the ball. I mean, anything can happen, and it was just kind of one of those things.
Tip ball, pick six, changes the game.
Change the game, and it was just one of those things. It was like, okay, this would be the Washington thing to do. Everyone thinks they're gonna get blown out against the 49ers and the 49ers coming off a loss to Baltimore, and Washington wins the game. A game they're not expected to win, and they shouldn't win, and they come out here and upset. 17-13 kind of ugly game, right? But again, about halfway through the third quarter or whatever, I don't remember what it was, but then the game they started pulling away, and Washington, we were already shorthanded throughout many positions within the game, and then so the guys that were backups that were playing, few guys got hurt, and now it was just pulling guys that was from the practice squad and special teams, and it was just just a war of attrition, and it was just we just couldn't maintain, and they just pulled away.
Sure. But as we were tracking all that, and over the last week or two, Washington, at the end of the game, you lose the game. We were sitting, I think, right before the game, or I know there was some Saturday games, but before the week started, I think we were sitting at number 4 in the draft. By the time it was game time, we were number 3 because of strengths of schedule, wins and losses. And I said this was from Washington playing, but everything around you, it was a horribly good week, because as soon as our game was over, they flip over to the Cardinals versus Eagles game. Kyler Murray and team pulls out a win. So within a couple days, we go from number 4 to number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, you weren't there, but I called up Reggie and I told him we were at number 2, and I recorded it. Here's what he said.
What the hell? Oh my God! No way!
Yeah, I mean, he felt like a lot of us out there.
What?
What
the hell was that?
See, there you go. Go ahead and sing it.
Oh my God!
He was in total shock, like the rest of us, that we had moved from the number 4 pick all the way up to number 2, and
This
You know,
show has literally.
and now we're hanging on, and we're looking at the draft boards, looking at strength of schedule to see where we will end in the draft.
Hold on, man. We're not just gonna glaze over this mess you just threw out here. This show has come off the rails. This show has come off the rails just like our season.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What the hell was that? Where did you get that from?
I just recorded it when I called you up.
You know what? I'm gonna move on. Oh my God! I hope that's the last time I hear that.
Well, if I hit you with some more shocking news, I never know what you're going to say, Reg. I never know what you're going to say. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm always recording. I'm recording at all times, just in case I could get a soundbite like that.
Well, I don't know who the hell that was, but that was not me. But listen, we'll get to the number 2 pick thing here in a second. But one thing that I want to point out is everyone talked about the return of Chase Young.
Yep.
And he was non-existent, man. I think the dude had like one pressure or one something. He had no tackle, no sacks, I mean, the dude was non-existent.
I want to go ahead and say it because he's not in burgundy and gold anymore, right? If Goldilocks didn't have his dreads hanging out, I would have never known he was in the game. I saw his Goldilocks a few times hanging out of the back of his helmet, and outside of that, he was non-impactful. Other than we're going to get a compensatory 3rd round pick for him. So
he was not only was he non-existent, non-impactful, he was non-existent. Chase Young was almost, I mean, I think he had zeros almost across the board in his stat line. Yeah. So for all those that were thinking he was going to come back and wreck us, and he was a non-impactful.
And that was against our incredibly good offensive line.
No, we have backups.
That's what I'm saying. I'm being sarcastic when I say that. You know,
he couldn't even beat our backup.
Our line at best this year wasn't very good, right? At our best game, we were average at best, and he still couldn't do anything. Was non-impactful. I will say, if you watched our other Redskin commander, Trent Green, man, we miss him. Man,
Williams.
What I say? Trent. What I just say? I don't even know what I said.
Green.
I said Trent Green. Who the hell's Trent Green? Oh, that was our old quarterback. Green, man, why the hell I say that? Jeez, man. I guess that one was on me.
Oh my God, the show.
Man, man.
Oh God, folks, I'm sorry. This is what the New Year brings, everybody.
That was the wrong answer right there. Trent Williams. But he was pancaking people all day. If you just watched him, man, we miss him. We don't miss Trent Green, but we do miss Trent Williams. So
we do. So let me ask you this question real quick.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. You're the GM.
Uh-oh. This is what we've been waiting for, Reggie. You and I co-GMs, but go ahead.
Okay. But I need a yes or no answer from you. Can you do that?
It's going to be a challenge. Can I? Is it just a straight yes or no, or do I have to throw out an explanation to it? Because you like to give me some crazy ones. But go ahead, my man.
I like to ask you yes or no questions. But
all right.
Get a yes or no answer.
Yes, go ahead.
Based on everything that you know, just as of today.
As of today.
You're picking number 2 in the draft.
This coming year. Correct.
In April.
Correct.
Are you picking quarterback?
Yes.
You are.
Yes.
Okay.
And say that. If I was picking at number 10, I wouldn't answer so quickly. I'd have to think about it. My preference would be, who's going to fall. As of right now, the 2 quarterbacks that will be there, one of the two. Who knows? Maybe both of them. Doubtful, but one of the two, I would be happy with either one of them. I think both of them are an upgrade to Sam Howell. The last 3 or 4 weeks has definitely made a lot of people, including myself. I'm a huge Sam Howell fan. Man, I wanted him to work out. The first 5 or 6 games, it looked like, we may have finally gotten lucky on quarterback.
Yeah, we felt like the team was losing, but it was in spite of Sam, not because of Sam.
Right.
So we felt like if we do some things around Sam, that we found a quarterback. And now I don't know that everybody feels the same.
Right.
But so you would go quarterback if you were picking in the number 2, number 3 spot, based on everything we know at this very point. So that was kind of my follow up to that is how you felt about Sam. Now,
yeah, but I would like to add on to that. And I mentioned it at the bar during the game, before the game. When I don't care what quarterback you have, let's just say we go and get the kid out of USC or the kid out of North Carolina, both ranked 1 and 2 from a quarterback perspective. When we talk about those two quarterbacks being successful, now we're not talking about a 5th round pick, right? We're talking about a 1st round, what we would think is a stud if you're the 1st or 2nd pick in the entire draft. What we would say that is required to make them successful was not given to Sam Howell.
correct.
Sam Howell did not have a quality offensive line, and he didn't have a running game in place or really attempted to try those two things to take the pressure off of him.
So what if you gave him those things?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Right, and I understand. So what if you gave Sam those things? Then why pick the quarterback at number 2? Right? Would that change, Steve? Because if you give Sam the line, because here's the thing: many fans grew tired, if you will, of the mistakes that Sam made throughout the season.
Right.
Right. You draft a quarterback this year, you're going to go through many of those very similar growing pains. The only difference is one guy was a 5th round pick, one guy's potentially a number 2 or number 3 pick, and he's going to have a longer leash. But if you grew frustrated with the mistakes Sam, you're potentially going to grow frustrated with the 1st round guy. So Sam would be essentially a guy with some experience. He's not Jacoby Brissett experience, but he's a guy coming in and he's already gone through the understanding what the day-to-day prep is, what NFL life is, and all those types of things. But I don't think many people, if the young rookie quarterback comes in here and start making some of the same, not throwing the ball away or throwing the interceptions and all these kinds of things. Right. Now we're going to start calling him a bust because he's going to make a lot of the same mistakes that Sam made.
Sure.
In year 1. But is people ready to deal with that, though, Ken? Yourself included.
No, I agree 100%. I think, I think you put a poll out on Twitter that talked about what was the most important thing that Washington gets right this coming year, whether it was GM, head coach, or
franchise quarterback,
or getting a franchise quarterback. Identifying the franchise quarterback.
Do you remember the results?
I'll let you, because I don't want to mess it up. But I thought was it GM was number 1? Is that correct?
Yeah. So basically, we had about 1,000 votes, and it was a runaway with about 71%. Of those 1,000 votes was that we need to get the GM right.
Right.
Need to get the right
GM.
And
I don't disagree with that.
But what I found shocking though was number 3 was the quarterback. It was GM, head coach, quarterback.
And it's one of those things, I think, that as you put a team together, having a quality quarterback what I would call, just say a top 5, top 7 quarterback, they can make up for a lot of holes, right, that you have in your team. But you don't know that you're going to get one, especially if we don't think that Sam Howell is that person right now. I'm not saying he's not going to be a successful quarterback, but right now we would not say he's a top 5, top 7 quarterback. And whoever we draft, let's just say we draft one, we know he's not going to be right off the bat. So how are you putting the team together? How are you growing and building this this quarterback? I mean, you could have Patrick Mahomes on this team this year, and this defense wasn't any better. They were still the number 32 defense in the league. And we can talk about that when we start talking about the Cowboys here in a little minute and coming up with them. That's the wrong one here. Hold on. I just talked about the Cowboys.
Cowboy.
But anyway, the GM needs to hire the right coach and staff, right? Because how you coach a young quarterback, whether it's Howell, whether it's kid out of North Carolina,
like Drake May or Caleb Williams,
right? You coach those people, and you have to have, whether it's quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator, head coach, they are different than how you're coaching Tom Brady. Tom Brady in his last 5 years, totally different type of coach. Totally, what you need is night and day different.
Correct.
And so the GM needs to get the hires right, get the evaluations right, evaluate the other draft picks besides the quarterback, evaluate the free agents, and build this entire team up, because as we were saying off the air here, there's a lot of holes on this team.
Well, let me say this, and then we'll move on to the Cowboys here.
Cowboy.
These are the top quarterbacks that are talked about, and by the closer we get to the draft, these guys are going to move up and down the boards.
Right.
But you got Drake May, you got Caleb Williams, you got Jaden Daniels out of LSU, and then you got the Michael Penix Jr., the kid that's going to be playing for the national championship, right?
Right.
The odds of 2 of those guys becoming franchise quarterbacks extremely slim.
Right.
That these guys may go on and be starters. They may even be long-term backups in the league. 1 or 2 of them may not even pan out. I mean, look at Josh Rosen, right? Look at the kid in New York, the Jets. It might not even pan out to even be backups. But when they go back and they look at all these guys that get drafted in the first round, how many go on to be those franchise guys? Just of those 4, maybe 1 will turn out to be the guy that every team that drafted one of those 4 hoped the guy to be. It may only be one of them. And we have to hope that we get the one. So
yeah.
And I know this is a statistics thing here, but I'm just saying we have to
hope
that we get, of the 4 teams that are going to pick those 4 guys, we have to hope that we're the team that picked the one that will most likely end up being that long-term franchise guy that kind of holds it down, right? The Dak Prescott, the Justin Herberts, the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Russell Wilsons, Russ in his prime, those type of guys that every year when you went in the season, you had a chance because you had to build around the quarterback, not trying to find your quarterback.
Well,
we have to hope that the GM gets that right.
Well, and I was to piggyback on that again. You got to hire the right coach that could get the most out of that player, right? We've seen, potentially in Washington, but we've seen on other teams as well where, man, teams don't know how to use their quarterbacks. Right? They either overuse them, they underuse them. They bring them in. They don't have any weapons for them. And then you have teams that get it right. I think there was a lot of question marks around Tua And man, they put a lot of tools around him, and not that he's a what I would call a true franchise quarterback, but man, they're being successful,
He's damn
right?
good.
And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Get it, you want your quarterback to be successful, and you're putting him in a position to be successful with the tools around. It's playing chess, right? You lose pieces as you're playing chess, but you still need to put a strategy together to win. And that's exactly what football is, right? You have strengths and weaknesses, and you have to piece it together to be successful. Washington consistently has not done that. And that's where I think the GM, like a lot of other people think. I think the GM is where it all starts coming up here. So,
But here's the fine line, and I'm going to use Tua as your example. They built around Tua, and now all of a sudden Tua was in the conversation of MVP. He's having a great year.
sure.
But if Tyreek Hill goes down, do you trust Tua to
No,
wield that team?
no,
Then he's
no,
not
no.
a
I mean,
franchise. Then he's not a
yeah, yeah.
franchise
I mean,
quarterback.
I'm not saying he is a true franchise quarterback, right? But he fits into that franchise and what they're doing very well.
He does.
You see that happen in college,
But
but
that's
you
not the
don't
guy I
see that.
want, though.
But right. Well, if I have the right coach and talent evaluators, we can deal with that, right? Because look, I think you take Tua out, and I can put some other not big name, not top 5, not top 7 quarterbacks in there, and they can still be successful.
Okay.
We haven't talked about it, but I think we may have talked off the air, but Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill, they should be MVP 1 and 2, 2 and 1.
Okay.
Right. Those guys are carrying their teams. They are unstoppable on their teams, with their teams, for their teams. And we all know it's probably going to go to a quarterback somehow, some way. But man, those two guys are. I, I want them on my team.
Okay.
And,
All right.
and
Well,
and the coaches are using them correctly, right? They're getting them open. They're getting them the ball. They're, what from running back. Obviously, you're handing the ball, but you're putting him in position when you have this tool to make it work. I don't think Washington has done that very well this year, with the talent that we do have. But that's kind of a year in review type of thing on that. So
yeah, we'll get back to all that. So let's move on to this week's season finale game for us. It would be Week 18 home game against the hated Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys.
yeah,
Man. This is a tough one for me, Ken. Because most people that know me know that I can't stand the Cowboys. Right? I don't hide it.
nope,
People say, "Oh, you're a hater." Yeah, you damn right I am.
Yep.
I don't apologize for it.
correct.
Can't stand them. Can't stand them. I'm not a Cowboy fan. If I had 3 wishes and they never win another damn game in the history, I might be one of the wishes. I
That
don't
might be one.
like the organization. I don't like the team. And they are playing this Sunday for a chance to win the division simply because the Eagles lost to Arizona.
Right.
And the Dallas owns the tiebreaker over Philadelphia. So Dallas controls their destiny, essentially. If they win the division. They win the division. I think they probably will host the playoff game.
Correct.
If the Dallas loses and the Eagles win, then the Eagles win the division. But here's the thing. Washington ain't going to win. And that's what hurts, Ken. Because
Right.
I never, ever, ever want to lose to the Dallas Cowboys. But I got to think big picture. I got to continue to think big picture. A win does us no good here. So although I hate to say this, we have to lose this game. But by losing this game, it gives the Cowboys the division. And so here we are with this conundrum, and we're going to lose, no doubt, because I'm pretty sure Ron is going to play some young guys again.
Right.
Dallas clearly has something to play for. And I know there's some people that probably say, well, they had something to play for last year. And then we were basically playing Sam Howell, first year starter, and all. I get it. But I don't think we're going to catch lightning in a bottle twice. I don't think we win this game this Sunday. And I know I'm already getting to part of our segment here, but this is a tough one for me because, again, we're playing the hated Dallas Cowboys. And although I want to win, we have to lose this game. And we're going to lose this game.
Yeah. And I'll just go over some quick stats. This is nothing that I'm going to lay on you is surprising. Initially, the first two, Cowboys are third in scoring, averaging roughly 29.5 points per game. That coincides with Washington defense being still 32nd. You know, we didn't improve last week against the 49ers at all. I made a stat last week about the 32nd defense versus the 25th. The 32nd defense is us. The 31st defense, the very next defense, is the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals have given up 50 less points than us at 31. So the difference between 31 and 32 is 50 points on the season. That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the Cowboys and how they attack and how they score, Washington has given up more passing touchdowns than anybody else this year in the NFL, 35. We've had the 30. We aren't last. We're second to last as far as the fewest amount of interceptions with 7. Only 7 interceptions all year long. Not that we had a ton, but when I saw the number 7, I was like, man, that's all that we had
I didn't think we had that many
games. And the other one is that it's a crusher when you see it. We are 32nd in the percentage of drives by other teams that end in a score. We are 32nd.
Yeah. So in other words, when you possess the ball, you have a high percentage chance of scoring against us.
And that's getting close to 50%.
Well,
right?
that's what makes you the 32nd ranked defense. That's the kind of stat that would make you rank last in defense and giving up over 50 points more than the next guy. But again, man, there's a little bit of the division thing. I get that. There's a little bit of the Dallas Cowboys, although they were 8-0 at home this year, they were terrible on, I don't say terrible, but they're not as good on the road. Not only on their win-loss record on the road, their scoring on the road is a lot less. Correct. And when I say a lot less, I'm talking they're averaging almost 30 points a game at home. I want to say it may be about 20 points a game on the road.
Yeah, it's a good touchdown.
Yeah. Right. So here they are on the road playing a division opponent. And although Ron will probably be playing the young guys because that's what he did against the 49ers, those guys are playing their butts off.
Right.
So it could happen. I'm not going to sit here and say, because I won't give my number just yet, but it could happen. And so there's a chance here things could go a little different. But at the end of the day, I still think Dallas comes out on top here.
Yeah, obviously last year, Sam Howell, that game not only beating Dallas, but gave him a year opportunity as a starter here. And then you and I were at a game where not our first string, not our second string, but our third string quarterback in Dallas came away with the win, and we were big underdogs in that game. That's when Colt McCoy. Yeah, that's when Colt McCoy came in and pulled out a win. But with that being said, Reg, let's just go ahead and get to it. You ready?
Go for it.
The favorite segment the last time of the year.
Yeah,
And
this is our season finale, isn't it?
it is the season finale of What's Your Name, What's Your Number, where we go along and give our confidence level that Washington can come out with a win. It's not whether we're going, I guess it's whether we're going to win or lose. We don't give a score. We just give our confidence on Reg.
Well, whether we think we'll win.
How do you think we will do from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a win, 1 being not so much? Reggie, this week, what is your number? You already gave us an indication of how you're feeling. You know, the way the winds are blowing for you. Go ahead.
Well, last week I gave a 0 against the 49ers. Today, the number will be a little higher, but not much. I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
And I'm giving it a 2 simply because some of the things I've already talked about. Dallas, again, is not very good on the road. Although we will be playing young guys, those guys will be playing as if their life depend on it because they will be getting an opportunity to play. So they're going to play hard. They're going to tackle. You know, CeeDee Lamb's going to be running a route out here thinking, you know, all these guys are very good. And that young guy going to come with them, pop the you-know-what out of him, right? I mean, these guys are going to come to play.
Right.
It's a division opponent. And the thing that gets me why I'm giving it 2 is because it's like anything can happen, right? Just like last year.
Right.
Anything could happen. If we playing somebody else, I'd be like, not a chance. But for some reason, man, anything can happen. So just giving it a 2, again, just simply because I know Dallas is coming in with something to prove. I know the stadium will be run over by it. On the TV, it's going to sound like a Dallas home game.
Sure.
A lot of fans have checked out. I get it. But just simply being that a little bit of slight confidence is they're not a good road team. Washington will come to play. I have no doubt. The team hasn't given up on run, and the young guys are going to come to play. And this is a division game that sometimes wacky things seem to happen. So I'm going to give it a 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think we talked about last year's game. We talked about when Colt McCoy. It's been flipped around, right? Washington has had some good teams, and Dallas has come in and surprised us, right? It's gone both ways. And with that, and for that reason, I think last week I gave it not just a 0, but a -0. This week, I'm giving it a 3. And it's just for that reason. I don't think it's likely that we come out with a win. I think if I'm the coach of the Cowboys all week, I'm reminding them what Washington did last year, right? This is not only is this for the NFC East championship, but we're going to put it on them because they did it to us last year. They caught us last year. They're not catching us this year. This is a priming game for us to go into the playoffs. So I don't see Washington sneaking up on them this year, but because it happens more often than not that it's actually a close game at least. I'm giving it a 3, and but at the end of the day, Washington's going to
and let's not forget, to your point, reminding them about what happened last year. And I don't necessarily subscribe to if I beat you and you beat them, therefore I could beat them kind of thing. But
right.
You can't ignore what Washington did last week. And there's also the part about, the Cowboys got waxed by the 49ers.
Right.
And we actually played the 49ers tough in the first half.
Right.
So if nothing else, that should tell Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys, although they're not good record-wise, the team hasn't given up over there.
Right.
So
right.
they're gonna suit up and come to play. So you better show up and be ready to play.
Right.
And but the fact, again, to your point, the reason why I give it a 2 is because just wacky things seem to happen, man. And so there's a chance, but I'm with you. I don't think Washington pulls out the W, but I think anything can happen, man.
Yeah, I don't think Washington's going to sneak up on them. this time. I think last year was a good time, was the right timing, and let's be honest, it was great play, at least in that one game for Sam Howell,
Yeah.
and the team. So they did have film on him. They didn't prep against him, and he used that to his advantage to walk away with the win. So after this game, we're going to be here all season long, all off season. Well, next week we'll probably talk about this game briefly, but we'll start talking about more of all the anticipated changes, right? Everybody anticipates Monday, Tuesday of next week of coaches and staff within the Washington organization to be relieved of their duties. I don't know how long it'll take, but my guess is by Tuesday, Ron and crew will be gone. I think the GM's scouting. I think there's going to be a just a wash and a clean slate. I think it's healthy for the team. It's healthy for the fans. And nobody mentions his name, but that very well may include Doug Williams. And it may go on the other side of the ball and include Jason Wright as well. Time will tell. We definitely haven't seen Doug Williams pretty much at all this season at all in any capacity. Reggie's shaking his head no, that he doesn't think it'll happen, that people just want to latch on to him because he's a former player. But if you're not producing, let me just go on the record and say I like the idea of having former Redskins, Commanders tied to the team. It makes us feel good. I don't care. I want to win. I want talent here that can help us win. None of these coaches, none of these GMs, none of these front office people have done it for us up to this point. It's been failure on the field and off the field. So at the end of the day, I only want that, come Monday, Tuesday, outside of ownership, I want everybody gone. Parking attendants, we're going to have new parking attendants next year as well. Concessions, you're gone. Everybody.
Ken's going to have everybody fired by Tuesday.
Everybody.
All right. So listen, I don't necessarily agree that I don't disagree that there would not be wholesale changes here. And I do think it's going to be top to bottom. I was shaking my head specifically about Doug Williams.
Right. Doug
Williams, his title may change, his role may change, but I think he sticks around in a different capacity. Because of nothing else, he's a link to the past. He's won Super Bowls. So I think he'll just be in a different capacity, not necessarily as a decision maker. And specifically Jason Wright. I think Jason Wright has been able to get into some places and make some connections with some people that I think will allow and help. Jason will be more on the business side. You may see less of him, but I don't think they're going to move on from him. I think he'll be very vital to not only the new stadium thing, but also just other things that they're doing around the team. And so I think he'll be around. I don't think he'll go anywhere either. But from a coaching staff, meaning the GM, the head coach, and all of the coaches that are with the product on the field, I think they're all going to be gone. Ken says Tuesday.
I guess that means
it'll be Tuesday.
Well, I think from GM down, it'll all be gone. I guess if Jason Wright is here, I guess the next time we honor somebody, it'll be messed up like we have with Sean Taylor, London Fletcher. I can go down the list of all the mess ups.
This is not about Jason Wright.
It is all under Jason Wright. It's that side.
No. I'm not saying it's not on his watch. I'm saying this is not about Jason Wright. Just because you think he'll be fired, I'm saying I don't think he'll be fired. That's all. We're not going to get into defending or bashing Jason Wright. It's not, but you start going down his resume.
He has a track record of failures as
And that's fine.
and he's probably
I
had
don't
some
think-
successes, but he's
And I
had
don't
a
think-
track record of failures that the new ownership will be able to look
Why
at.
are we
As
talking
well.
about Jason Wright? You brought him up. Just say that he's gonna be fired. I'm just simply saying I don't think he'll be fired. That's it. We
Look,
don't have to read his resume. I don't care.
look, when we went to game
Well,
one, when we
we'll
went to
know on
game one,
Tuesday.
and that park attendant didn't want to let us park in the red section, we worked our way around it without. I'm not going to pull back the curtains too much, but we worked our way around it. He should be gone. He should be gone. You know, he messed up and let us in. Well, he didn't let us in, but we got in, and you know, he should be gone. He should be gone too.
You know what, man? You talk too much. Get off this thing. Let's let's put this to bed before you tell on us, man.
Hey, man, we worked our magic. You know, hey, we're there for the tailgate. You know, what can I say? What can you say?
You talk too much, man.
Well, that's an off the air story. That's an off the air story. But when you see us at the bar, we can share with that. Maybe. I'll look over at Reggie and I'll look for the thumbs up or thumbs down on whether we can share that story. But that'll be out for. We'll put that in our book. We'll put that in our book that'll be coming out in a couple of years. We're talking to some publishers right now, so we'll have to see.
Put a fork in us, man. We're done. How about
Ladies
that?
and gentlemen, you knuckleheads all around, we appreciate you listening to us as always. And until next time, peace out, knuckleheads.
Peace out, y'all. We'll be searching for a head coach next time because we're not gonna have one.
And front office of president.